Welcome back to another episode of the AJ Sports Podcast. I am one half, Anthony Carboni, and to my right is Justin Vilche. Whew, Euros are finally over. Copa America is finally over. There's officially no cool sports to watch anymore, which is unfortunate, but we're gonna talk about and break down the Euro final, and then we'll talk about Copa America's final, and then is the GOAT debate over? We're going to discuss that after. But say what's up to Justin first. What's going on, dude?
Good, bro. Everything chilling. Nothing really much to watch now. I mean, there's a home run derby today for the MLB, but other than that, it's pretty boring in the sports world.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
as the summer is, it's typically like that. But we have some things that we need to cover before we get into our, like we talked about, some certain topics that we've been planning on discussing on the pod. But I think with this one, we're going to discuss the soccer world and how the Euros went down and how Copa America went down. So let's get right into it. We'll talk about the Euro Final 2024. Spain, a young mixed with veteran team, looking really strong. Best team of the tournament, 6-0 heading into that game. Taking on England, making their second straight appearance in the Euro final. And I remember in our predictions video, I predicted Spain. You predicted England. So did our producer, Anthony Minicello. Shout out to him. Yeah. So Spain get the win. They win the Euro. And wow, I was impressed with that Spain team. That first half, not much. A lot of the ball was going into England's end. Pickford had to make a couple stops, but Spain just looked so good. And then heading into half at 0-0, what were your initial thoughts? Like, what did you think of the game?
I thought Spain were gonna go on to win it. Just by watching the game, England just didn't really look up for it at all. Like you would think that okay, this is their second final in a row, and you would think okay, they would look more energized. They just look really sloppy. Spain just looked like they just wanted it more, really. And I mean, Spain throughout the whole tournament, just the way that they've been playing has just been absolutely incredible. And the way England have been scraping these wins, barely scraping out wins, heading into the final. I mean, England just didn't look great from start to finish, and it showed in the end when they got scored on. That dude, they really didn't deserve to win this tournament at all, let alone be in the final.
But look at the youngster, 16 years old, Lamine Yamal, with that beautiful pass to another youngster in Nico Williams. Absolute beautiful finish. I mean, they go up 1-0. A little bit later, Cole Palmer for England comes on. A guy who a lot of fans have been saying needs to be starting for this English squad. And he comes in, not even 5 minutes into his first, I guess, couple minutes. He comes in, he gets a ball from Saka just outside the box. Beautiful one-timer, left foot, straight into that bottom corner. And England shows some life going up or tying this game at 1-1. I mean, at that point, I thought we were going to go to penalties for sure. Because
Yeah.
1-1 in a Euro game, I mean, Spain was dominating, but England, they just need to bring it to pens. I think that's exactly what they were going for because they knew they couldn't beat Spain playing a full 90 minutes. And then for them to come in there with Cole Palmer hitting the little celebration, the little cold celebration, it was nice to see him. And it really makes Southgate look like a complete moron for not playing him a lot more in this tournament because he is looking really nice for that English squad.
Yeah, again, Southgate, he's been questioned pretty much his whole tenure as an England coach, as to his tactics, his substitutions, and just how he can manage the game overall. So, again, a lot of people say, oh, Palmer should have started. But again, he used him as a super sub, and he came in and scored. So, I mean, Southgate could say, oh, well, I did put him on and he scored, right? So, again, you could look at it from both sides. But, I mean, ultimately they lost. Spain scored in, I want to say, the 88th minute.
88th minute. It was a sub. I don't know how to say his name. I think it's old. It starts old. What's that? How do you say it?
Real Sociedad.
Yes, I know. I always have him as a FIFA card in FIFA, so I always I always see him. But he did score the winner coming off for when Morata came off. He took he took Morata off, and yeah, Spain
Really stayed on side, but was like not even.
It was a beautiful play from Cucurella, by the way. Absolutely beautiful. beautiful pass, way up there, and then bang, finish, beautiful finish. And Spain win the Euros. They're fourth in like 20 years. Like they're insane. Like they're gross. They went back
Like,
to back in '08 and 2012, and then they finally win in 2024 again. So they have the most European championships now, passing Germany to have 4 European championships. I want to highlight some things here. Lamine Yamal, first of all, he wins the best young player in the tournament. At 16 years old, he had the most assists in this tournament. Insane. He scored an absolute beautiful goal in the France game. What a bright spot for Spain, but what a bright spot for Barcelona fans like yourself, Justin. Unbelievable. What are your thoughts on this kid, man? Like he's literally
I mean,
he's insane. He's 3 years younger than us, by the way.
I know, and he's doing that. No, he again, he was doing this for pretty much the majority of the season with Barcelona before the Euros. So, but I mean, the way he stepped up in these Euros as a 16-year-old was quite impressive. He's been really showing out for Barcelona. But I mean, this just shows all Barcelona fans that look, we might have lost Messi, but you know what? We have the future. The future looks bright with Pedri, Gavi, Lamine Yamal now. And it's like, dude, also Lewandowski, he's getting older, but I mean, he's still there. And dude, like we also have Rojo from Uruguay. So I mean, dude, like again, Barcelona, they will be kings of Spain once again, sooner or later. And dude, they're in great hands. And they might even be in advanced talks with Nico Williams, so he could play on the left side because they're best friends, Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal, and they're both extremely young. So I mean, hey, if they could get that done, dude, Barcelona's cooking. So we'll see. We'll see.
We shall see. I want to give a shout out to our boy Victor for predicting the Spain
Yes.
winning the Euro from the beginning of the tournament. Shout out to him.
Yes.
That this goes out to him there. Good job on predicting that. We're not going to talk about the rest of your bracket, buddy, but we will bring up the fact that you said Spain would win this from the beginning. But we're not going to talk about who you had them beating in the final because that was a little, I don't know. But you did predict the winner, so congrats to that. Rodri. We got to talk about Rodri winning the best player of the tournament. It seems to me that he is now the Ballon d'Or favorite. I remember on PlayStation when we were playing, and I was talking to one of our other buddies, and I told him Rodri should be in the Ballon d'Or conversation. No, he should not be. No, he's not. He's not that good. He's not like he plays for Man City. They're really a really strong team. How can he shine? Well, look at this tournament for instance. He played almost every minute of this entire tournament. He was he didn't really produce many points, but that's not what really matters. His tackles, his passes, the pass completions. He did it all, and he was one of Spain's highlights throughout this entire tournament. He played fantastic and absolutely deserved to win the Best Player award, winning the Euro, the best player in the Euro. He's just incredible.
He's also won the Prem this year too, and
Exactly.
I mean, like the guy never stops. I mean, and also the guy never loses. Honestly, like Rodri, I can't even remember the last time they've actually lost. He's actually lost a 90-minute football match because a lot of the time that Man City lose, which is not often, a good chunk of them he doesn't even start because he's either like injured or something. Yeah. So again, Rodri never loses, and the fact that he just went from Man City, winning the league there, then a month later, boom, playing every minute for Spain. Okay, in this turn, or a good 95% of the minutes that he played.
Oh yeah,
and then win the best player in the tournament along with the trophy. I mean, dude, I don't see as a reason as to why he can't be in conversation for the Ballon d'Or.
Have you seen his trophy cabinet now?
It's ridiculous.
Champions League,
yeah.
Premier League, Euro, best player in the Euro, honestly,
yeah, it's
he's got to be in that conversation.
Again,
he's got to be in that conversation.
He's going to be in the conversation as one of the best midfielders of all time. And
how old is he, by the way?
I think he's like 29. I think.
Let me just Google Rodri real quick. He's 28.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I know it's crazy. And the man never loses. I can't remember the last time he's lost a match. Maybe when they played Brentford 2 seasons ago.
Oh, when they lost to, did he play when Man United beat them in the FA Cup, or? I don't think he was playing. No.
I don't know, because they won the league the week before that, so they
Yeah.
were all celebrating then.
So I don't
I'm
know.
not sure if he did.
I don't know if he did play, but like we got to give a shout out to Rodri. Like we said, like he's fantastic. The
Yeah.
guy has, he clearly deserves to be in that top five, if not, win the whole thing. I know guys like Vinicius Jr. are going to be in that conversation for sure. Jude Bellingham as well. But who would you honestly give the Ballon d'Or to?
Um, I mean, they all have a strong case. Like we saw Bellingham, other than this tournament, we saw him throughout the whole season, like as a CM, like just scoring banger goals for Real Madrid, needing in
Just
his first season, by the way,
that
in La
that
Liga. Yeah,
celebration after that Barcelona game in October really did it for me too. Like that was insane when Barca was up 1-0 and then Bellingham with that beautiful strike outside the box top corner. Holy, that's all I see with Bellingham, man. But who do you have?
I think it's between Bellingham and Rodri because, like, again, they've both done exceptionally well this whole year, and it's like they just haven't stopped. Maybe might just give it to Rodri because of this tournament, and he outplayed Bellingham also in this game in this final. So, and we saw it with our own two eyes. So, I mean, maybe just Rodri might have to get the Ballon d'Or. It might just have to be.
Might just have to be indeed. Last part onto this Euro. We talked about Spain. We got to talk about England here. Wow, wow, wow. Back to back Euro final losses. They lose on penalties to Italy, our team, way back in 2021. And they also now lose to Spain 2-1. Wow. And it appears that Southgate will remain with the team until the 2026 World Cup. So it looks like he will not be going anywhere. I think he's been with this team for too long. Harry Kane, we gotta talk about Harry Kane. Harry Kane is
Yeah.
literally a curse. I'm sorry. I feel bad for the guy a little bit? Yes. But like at the same time, this guy is cursed. Like Tottenham, they've had their struggles. He goes there. He, still doesn't win a trophy. Then he comes over to Bayern Munich, a team that just, came off winning a couple Champions Leagues, Bundesligas. His first season there, he scores a couple goals. They don't win the league. Then now in the Euro, he doesn't win again, going to the finals. He's still trophyless in his entire football career. Meanwhile, Lamine Yamal, he just started and he's already got two. How insane is that? I mean, what are your thoughts on Harry Kane? And should he? I mean, a lot of people are saying he shouldn't have been starting for England. It should have been Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney. What are your thoughts on Harry Kane?
I mean, he's he's one of the best goal scorers in the Prem history. He went to Bayern Munich. He scored 30 plus goals this year, and it's really like again, it's not his fault that he's been trophyless. Like again, he's played for a Tottenham team who haven't won trophies since when was it, like 2008, and they all get made fun of. Okay, he went to Bayern Munich. He did his job. Okay, but then they had Thomas Tuchel, and then they had this whole problem of his coaching, and then they couldn't win a title there. They won like 10 Bundesligas in a row, and this was the first time that they haven't won. And then now they get to the final. And yes, I think this tournament, it was slightly his fault because, again, he was a ghost and he was playing. Again, Harry Kane, he's not your natural nine, okay? He will sit back, okay, play as as honestly a midfielder at sometimes, and then make those passes out to the wingers. We've seen it with Tottenham with Son, right? Where him and Son will just link up all the time, right? Kane will drop back, pass to Son passes it into the box, Kane will score, right? This tournament, I mean, you have guys like Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins, right? Ollie Watkins, who had an amazing season for Aston Villa this year, had 20 goals, had 20 assists, 40 goal and assist contributions for an Aston Villa side who made Champions League. He was a big part of that. He gets into the team, okay, this England squad, okay, doesn't really get to play much, but when he did, dude, you can see the impact that he had. He even scored the winner in the semifinal. So I don't really understand how you can, yes, okay, you bring on Ollie Watkins as a sub, right? And he does his job, but then you just put him back on the bench while he just scored the winner for you to get to the final. Like, don't you want to ride the hot hand? Like Harry Kane
Yeah.
has been cold all tourney, right? But then you just want to keep playing him. Like, how does that make any sense, right? Um, Ivan Toney. I mean, I personally think Ollie Watkins is better than Ivan Toney, but anyway. But yeah, so again, Southgate, he will be continue to be criticized because he still can't win a trophy. He's pretty much wasted this generational talent of England players. So yeah, it's just really unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Harry Kane, it can't always be his fault, but I think honestly, just with like Bellingham, Saka, Foden, all these
Yeah.
like these young pieces with this team, and Southgate couldn't win, like can't win a trophy. It's got to fall on the coach eventually. All this talent that they have is built enough to win a Euro, to win a Euro. And we saw in this tournament now that they struggled really hard, I guess, to work together. It seems because they didn't. Let's not forget they didn't have a really. They didn't breeze through their group. They won their first game, but they drew the last two, and they
Yeah.
only won the game 1-0 against Serbia. So they weren't really getting the goal scoring that they should be getting. So I can see how it falls on Southgate's tactics, but at the same time, a lot of these like the players need to like. It seems to me like a lot of these big stars can't gem well together, and we
Hmm.
looks like we saw that with this English squad because a lot of the times they were getting frustrated with each other and just yelling and get like especially in that game against Spain like a couple times when Spain was on the counter attack there were guys like come on cover the guy, let's go, what are you doing, and to me I think a lot of ego is in that room for sure. I play for
Yes.
Real Madrid, I play for Man City, I play for this, so I can see how work like all those guys together like playing together is not going to work because there's a lot of ego that won't be put aside when it comes to games like this. And it showed. They didn't have a great tournament. I really didn't think they deserved to go to the final because
No.
all their games were tight. They didn't win on any games on a landslide, whereas Spain just walked right through everybody. Even though a lot of the games were like 2-1, 1-0, they pretty much dominated throughout their entire
Mhm.
run in the Euro. So for England, I mean, they really need to. For me, Southgate should have been let go as coach. Clearly, his tactics haven't worked in the Euro 2021. They haven't worked in the 2018 World Cup. They haven't worked in the 2022 World Cup. And they haven't worked in the 2024 Euro. That's four tournaments right there where Southgate could have at least at least one of them. Didn't
At
get
least
the
one.
didn't get the job done. So for me, he should have been fired. And as for the rest of the team, I mean, I don't know what their plan is for the next World Cup in 2026. I mean, Southgate is going to remain the coach, but I don't know. I don't know what we're going to see with this English squad. I mean, they should realize now that okay, like we haven't
Yeah.
with all these guys that we haven't won a damn thing. Not even Nations League. They haven't won a single thing. And it really looks
You're really
bad. It's really
yeah.
funny. They're like the Toronto Maple Leafs of European football at this point because we've seen it with like we make memes about it with the Leafs, the Cowboys, and now England's a part of that group, just not being able to win in big situations.
Yeah, no, it is honestly really funny, and I don't really know where to go from here. Like England fans should honestly be worried because like these guys are not getting any younger. Like these guys are getting older, and these guys have experience. Like they've been down to two finals. So and remember all these other nations that they're gonna have to play in the World Cup. Remember the World Cup is expanding. They're gonna have to play more teams. In the other Euros, teams are gonna get also better, right? So again, I'm curious to see what England does. Um, I mean, and again, I don't really know as to where they go from here. Like they've been to two finals. Are they going to make three straight Euro finals? Like I don't think so. Like that's extremely hard to do. So I don't know, man. Man, I don't know. It's really tough. But again, if they won yesterday, then we wouldn't have had this conversation. We'd be like, oh my gosh, they won. Southgate, can still have his job. He got the job done. But now look, now it's just a complete whole different conversation. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
it really is. It really is. I mean, now they're gonna play more teams in the World Cup, and a lot of these other like continents, with teams there, like Japan over in Asia, South Korea, and in Africa, we've got teams like Senegal, Nigeria. Like, I feel like these teams could give England a run for their money, considering how they were struggling so much in the Euro. It's like if you're struggling against a lot of these Euro nations, just imagine when you play the small, like this, I guess the small fish is what they would like to call teams like Japan, because they're like, for me, the best team outside of Europe and like South America would be Japan. No,
Yeah,
so imagine
yeah,
playing
yeah.
like a team like Japan or a team like Senegal, teams from like not from South Africa or Europe. I feel like England could struggle against teams like that.
Yeah. No, they would. And again, like even if like a team like Canada
Oh
showed
yeah,
that dude, they top teams in the world. So why should they fear a team like England? Like England, honestly, who are England? Like again, they haven't proved that they can do anything really. So again, like once England starts playing against these other teams that they aren't familiar with, teams outside of Europe, we could see them possibly struggle. So it'll be fascinating to see in the World Cup, how they go up against these other teams, and it'll be interesting. But I'm excited.
we will see what happens with England in the next World Cup. We are so excited for that. But let's move on to Copa America. That tournament down in South America. Lionel Messi wins his second straight Copa America. Argentina defeat Colombia. Was it 1-0?
1-0 in extra time.
One
Yes.
zero in extra time to win the Copa America. Ah, wow. Look at that. Messi wins another trophy. It seems to me that this is a continuing
Team.
thing, a theme here, yeah. He,
Yeah. I
people
mean,
here's the thing. I like Ronaldo, right? But a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, Messi didn't do it. He played Canada, he played Peru." Listen, I think Messi would also love to play other teams like that are better. It just so happens that he's from South America. There's nothing you can do about it, and he has to play these teams in these tournaments. And you know what? For what it's worth, I mean, he's done very well for himself, and he's won trophies. So you know what? I can't hate on him winning another trophy. Like whatever, who cares? He did it. He's now won two of his continent's trophies, two Copa Americas.
it's,
He has a World Cup. I mean, the trophy cabinet just speaks for itself. He's got a really, really bright
yeah.
trophy cabinet, and this honestly could end the GOAT debate for now. Like,
Well, 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 did it?
I think so. Like, it's another trophy for Messi for winning
In
another major trophy.
again, it's another major trophy. Again, even you could say, okay, well, look at the teams he's played in Copa America. Okay, but then he's also did it in the World Cup when he's had to play other teams like France, like Croatia. So again,
Exactly.
a Colombian side who haven't lost in 28 straight games, and the last time they lost was against Argentina. So again, this tournament you can say, okay, yeah, there's not enough, great teams, but again, you got to play the teams that are in front of you. It's that simple. Again, Chile, again, they played a Chilean side who have won two Copa Americas in the past decade. By the way, let's not forget that as well. Okay, so again,
They played a really good
Messi
Canada side as well.
they played a really good up and coming Canada side. So again, it wasn't an easy, and they played a really good Ecuadorian side who again are on the rise in South America. So again, it wasn't easy. They kept a clean sheet in, by the way, every single game that they played except for the Ecuadorians. So us Ecuadorians have something to cheer about. But again, like it wasn't just a cakewalk for this Argentinian side. Um, Messi got injured in the 60th
Did
minute.
you see his
His
ankle?
ankle
Balloon.
like pretty much on my head, and
Who
then
know, who
he
know
couldn't play.
who knows if he's gonna play for the rest of the MLS season with this. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a really
that was
big. It's
bad.
a it's a really bad. It was really bad looking, but I mean, at least he could celebrate with the trophy. Yeah, it's like you said. There's nothing Messi could do about the level of opponent he plays. No matter what, he's still the entire Argentinian team rallied together and pulled off another Copa America win, right? So for me, I think the Messi slander of him saying like, "Oh, look at the opponents he's played, look at Messi or whatever," I think honestly it's just unnecessary. And for me, if you're gonna keep debating on who your goat is, you can't keep hating on the other person if that makes sense. If you have to argue about the other person, then he's not truly your goat. And that's what a lot of Ronaldo fans have been. I see a lot of Ronaldo fans are doing. So for me, I think it's official. Messi has to be the GOAT now. He did win another Copa America, like I said, and
Yep.
they will be World Cup favorites again heading into the next World
Yes.
Cup. He will probably play, and that'll be his last tournament, and he could ride off into the sunset knowing he is the greatest footballer of all time.
I don't even think he has to play that. Again, he should really just not play because he's already done it. Like, because what you just want to end? Because there's a good chance that they don't win it again, and then he could just end on a sour note. So I honestly believe he should just call it quits now.
You think
right?
so?
Because he's already done so many, because he's already done the World Cup. Like he's done everything imaginable, right? So again, what else does he have to prove? So I
The
personally believe he
the
should just call it
the
quits.
reason
Demo
why the reason why I think he should play is because we need to see Ronaldo versus Messi in the World Cup. We were close. We were
one last.
one last time, one last dance. We saw the fucking Inter Miami versus Al Nasser game. That is not that was terrible. Al Nasser beat them like 6-0. Messi didn't even play. Exactly. Like Ronaldo, I don't think Ronaldo played either, so it was a waste. But for me, I mean, we were honestly robbed of Messi versus Ronaldo in the World Cup in 2022. But Portugal just decided to lose to Morocco, so I mean, whatever. But I would really like to see those two play on the biggest stage in the biggest tournament of the world for the biggest trophy
For
in
one
the
last.
world one last time. And then honestly, that would be it for both of them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, I think we might have just seen it already in 2022. Like Messi's done it now, you know, and
And
it's
we
like,
could tell, but here's the thing with both tournaments. Let's compare the two. I mean, we could see Messi's not the same player he was a couple years ago. We can see the Ronaldo wasn't the same player as well. These guys are getting old. They're really having to rely on these younger players. Like it's tough, but like I just want to see them go at it one more time.
yeah, just like as a footballing fan, just one more, especially in like Canada, USA, like in North America, like like one final time.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think that would be great. I don't, and just going off from the debate, I yesterday's whole fucking fiasco of what happened before the game about like
yeah,
fans just like
we're gonna talk about that right now. I was gonna lead into that. So a lot of people are
like
saying the U.S., the way they handled this Copa America hasn't been great. We know they're now going to be a part of the Big Three, hosting the World Cup in 2026. Them being the main nation where most of the games will be played. We saw yesterday that the game was supposed to start at 8 o'clock. It got delayed till 8:30, and then it got delayed to 9:15. Why? Because a lot of the fans from Colombia and Argentina were, without tickets, by the way, breaking into the facility and getting through into the stadium to a point where like security workers were going into the stands asking people for proof of their tickets. If it comes to that point, like in the Copa America, could you imagine in the World Cup when they're hosting nations from all over the world?
people, more fans, more teams.
Oh my!
Like
It's
again,
it's it's crazy, and it's got to go on the security. Like, how are you letting this happen? Did you see the video of the people climbing up into like at the from the bottom, climbing up into the roof, into the vents for a football game? Are you kidding me?
it's crazy. And again, like even and this isn't just the only problem. We've seen Canada's coach Jesse March say the Canadians felt like travelers or like second class, like they weren't treated properly. The Uruguayan coach also said that even for the Bolivian team, they didn't even have enough facilities for them to even practice for their games. So it's like they can't even control a good how many teams, like 12 or something, right? In
Um,
this or
imagine
16.
imagine when like 20 teams are going to be playing in the United States or 28 in the United States, and then the rest being in Mexico and Canada. They don't know how to treat. They don't know how to take care of the people in the tournament. So
So
should
again, they couldn't control this one game. Just imagine all the other games that are going to happen in the U.S. Yeah, so it could be. Oh, I don't even want to think about how it's going to go in
So
2026.
it doesn't look like they're very good hosts as we've seen. And yeah, man, like just seeing the security guards running after fans like that just broke in. It's just like it's so funny. Like first of all, how do you what like you have the security at like NFL games and NBA games. How do you not have the same thing for this? Like especially because this was
I know.
they were playing in Miami,
Hard Rock. Yeah, yeah.
where the
Hard Rock
where
Stadium.
the Dolphins play. It was
Yeah,
huge, huge, huge stadium.
it's like 1,000 people
Yeah,
or
and
something.
for some, and they just couldn't like they couldn't
Nope.
fucking contain the people and allow the people with proper tickets and admission into the stadium. they had to go into the crowd and ask people for proof of their tickets.
Yeah.
Like, was the security
It
team
was
just like was the security team just sleeping? Did they not have enough people working? I don't understand how that happened. And then as now we're heading into the 2026 World Cup, teams are gonna see this and be like, I refuse to play in the United States. Like a lot of teams are gonna like not want to play in the States.
crazy.
And
There's already teams in South America who don't even want to come up and play
yeah,
in the
you
U.S.
you you
You
could
know how
you
they
could
were.
see that. Yeah. I know, like you said, Canada was complaining, Uruguay was complaining about it, Bolivia was complaining about it. So can you imagine when we see a bunch of these, especially because all the knockout games are basically in the States, how
Yeah,
crazy that's going to be in the World Cup 2026? This probably could be the
no,
end of the United States hosting any major tournament in football
yeah, maybe.
because
But
this is just ridiculous.
yeah, like there's no way footballing federations see that and it's like, okay, like we feel safe going there, to like represent our country, or like federation be like, okay, yeah, like they can still host. Like you can't, like they've already proven that they can't even host a smaller tournament. So how are you gonna tell us fans and other soccer federations, oh yeah, well we'll be able to host the biggest tournament in soccer history? Like how does that make any sense? So again, it might be a complete shit show. Maybe the USA will turn it around. Maybe they'll do a good job. But as of right now, we can only go by what happened, and it's not looking good.
Not looking good indeed, but I think that's going to do it for this episode of the AJ Sports Podcast. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, tell all your friends, and this week we're going to see what happens in the sports world. If not, we're going to have our little own topics that we want to discuss and maybe do a couple debates on the next podcast for sure. That will be on Friday. As you'll be watching this, should be out tomorrow. So until then, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care and peace. We will see you guys on Friday.